Trucks, built to serve.
Back here, first things first, talking a little Tom Brady. Most people who watched Brady compete last season didn't see the usual play of this six-time Super Bowl champ. Not Bucs GM Jason Light. He saw vintage Brady, saying, quote, "The tape to us showed that he had plenty of arm." So, Nick, what's more likely for Brady this season in Tampa Bay? MVP level season, or he might struggle mightily season?
Well, if those are the only two doors I can walk through, then every person with a brain will walk through that he'll struggle mightily. Now, it probably is going to be somewhere in the middle, but can we just show Tom Brady's play over the last 4 years instead of that carefully manicured highlight clip? You buying that stock at age 43? Because I'm not. That shows a precipitous decline over the last 2 seasons, a gradual decline over the last 3 seasons, and now one would imagine it's going to continue to trend in that direction. So, Kevin, if the only options available to me are Tom Brady all of a sudden has that line graph shoot all the way back up to 2017 MVP level, or it continues down to where he would be struggling mightily, of course I'm going to say it's more likely that he struggles mightily.
Well, I'm trying to think about how the Bruce Arians factor weighs into this. I actually think Tom Brady is going to make Bruce Arians a much better coach. So he'll do this by pulling the weeds on his offense. When you look at turnover-worthy plays, since 2006, Jameis had 40 last year. Carson Palmer had 40 in 2013. Andrew Luck had 40 in 2012. Those were all in their first year of Arians. Now, I think Tom Brady is going to be more like a starting pitcher. In baseball, he's going to look at this play and be like, nope. And he'll look at another play like, nope. He's going to take a few of those plays and throw them in the garbage. And he'll keep the good Arians plays and throw the bad ones away. And that could give like a Jameis-esque season without any of the turnovers. Greg, are you buying that at all?
I'm buying it to a degree. I think he's going to fall somewhere in the middle, like
all
Nick
of it.
said.
Great, thanks, Greg.
If I had to pick, I would say he's going to err closer to an MVP level. And the reason why is simply because of the weapons around him and the opportunities that he's going to be afforded. When you are a player that's been counted out and you have had success, it's hard to literally eliminate the will of a champion and to say that they won't be able to succeed and what they won't do and they will struggle mightily. And so for me to sit here and say Tom Brady will struggle mightily because what Nick, you showed, everything kind of trending down, yeah, that might be the case. His level of play may not be at the highest of heights, but it may be just good enough for us to say Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a special team next year.
Can I just remind everyone that Jameis Winston was sacked 47 times last year? Brady likes to get the ball out early, so he's gonna be in for it with that offensive line. But listen, Bucs GM also went on to say, we feel like he could play for over 2 years for us. All we've heard from Brady is, I want to play till I'm 45. We haven't heard past that because it seems preposterous to think about. But, Nick, can Brady play more than 2 years for Tampa Bay?
Well, more than 2 years, whether it's for Tampa Bay or someone else, because this obviously is Kevin Wilde's ultimate dream. Brady plays 2 years for Tampa and still has a lot left in the tank, and then signs for the age 45 season, his final victory lap around the NFL with the New England Patriots after they've had 2 years of Stidham or Hoyer, whomever they're going with. But again, if you're offering me two doors, one is that Brady gets another contract after this one, and the other is that Brady does not make it through this contract, then obviously door number 2 is the smarter bet. Like, what is more likely? That Brady in 2 years is good enough to still be a starting quarterback, as his goal is to play 3 more years in the NFL, or that after 1 year in Tampa, we're all looking around the room, and most importantly, Jason Light's looking around the room like, yeah, wait, it's all guaranteed for the year 2? All of it? $25 million? Obviously, that's more likely. It's the same way, Wildes. Again, it's probably somewhere in the middle, but it's the same way if there's 2 doors. Brady's the best quarterback in a division with Brees, Ryan, and Bridgewater, or Brady's the worst quarterback in a division with Brees, Ryan, and Bridgewater. If it has to be one of those 2 doors, it is also door number 2. I feel like all evidence points to that, Kevin Wildes.
Jenna, can I be totally honest? I have thought about him coming back to New England. Like, Brian Hoyer's been on the team 3 times. We brought back Ben Watson. So when I saw that he only signed for 2 years, he has a no trade clause, he's got you can't franchise him, I was like, maybe he'll come back. Maybe he could come back. I also want to take an opportunity, although I love Brady with all my heart and soul, playing past your 40 is really Warren Moon's thing. And I got a great stat from Dusty, our researcher. He said prior to 1996, no quarterback 40 or above has started 6 games. Since then, it's kind of like the norm. I think there's 16 or 13, Dusty. 13 quarterbacks have started. And then you've got right on the cusp, Phillip Rivers, Big Ben, Aaron Rodgers says he wants to play till he's 40. So now it's like I could see Brady going further as there's a bunch of quarterbacks that just are turning 40 and keep playing.
Greg, you said, and you talked about the will of a champion, and you can't take that out of someone. And if they've got the will to win, they're going to succeed. He doesn't have will in his arm. He doesn't have will in his pliability and his durability. You know a lot about that. Yes. I mean, these are real legitimate issues to consider as you get older. I mean, quarterbacks, yeah, they're playing a little older, but 43, 44, 45. Now you're just, Father Time is not setting in. It has set in, no?
No, it's definitely setting in. It obviously has not set in because he's still out here playing and he's under contract with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. However, you have to take into consideration that you have linemen, you have receivers, you have running backs, you have all these other guys who are depending on you, but also who now you are depending on to make you better. And that's what Tom Brady is banking on. He's not going down to Tampa Bay with the same mentality that he had 10 years ago, saying, I'm the guy, put the ball in my hands and I'll make everything right. No, these offensive linemen are going to take ownership. We're going to see some great play. We're going to see some poor play. But more than not, we're going to see them stepping up to the plate to make sure Tom Brady's uniform stays clean because they understand, just like we do, he is older. He can't take those hits. We can't allow him to hit the ground. We can't allow him to hold on to the ball and be under duress every time he drops back. Now, some of that is going to be out of their hands to avoid, but for the most part, this is going to be the mentality of everyone across that roster, and specifically on that offensive side of the ball, is that we have to do whatever we can to make sure this works, not only for Tom Brady, but for us, because we've never won. We haven't won. I'm not talking about the Bucs that did win. This team right now, this last 12 years, they have not experienced any amount of success, and they want it desperately. So I think they're going to do whatever it takes to make sure and to ensure Tom Brady is healthy and gives them that best chance.
Nick, quickly, even if that means changing Bruce Arians' system, right?
Well, yeah, I think there'll be adjustments, but again, maybe I'm a prisoner of logic. Men typically don't get better at anything in their mid-40s. Like, there's not a thing guys typically do. It's like, when I was at my best? 46 years old. Nah, bruh. Like, you are in your 40s, you're typically trying to just maintain the level you achieved either in your late 20s or mid-30s, depending on what activity it is we're talking about here. So the idea that Brady is going to recapture his youth, I just don't see it under any offense, Bruce Arians or otherwise.
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll discuss the virtues of men and women getting older another time. Coming up, will Knicks defending champion Chiefs
I think
see some
women
extra
age like
opponents in
fine
the playoffs
wine,
this
Jenna.
season?
I
You didn't have
particularly
to,
said
Nick.
men. It
Next
was
up,
on
first things
purpose.
first.
It was on purpose.